Yes, now would be the appropriate time to continue your debate on second reading and final adoption of subchapter C. Mr. Mercer.
It's always good to have a different point of view, and I'll share with you mine, why I'm voting for the document, why I support it. And, Wednesday, I had an opportunity, and some of you heard about it, but bear with me. I was asked by a station to come and give my point of view. As a conservative, my point of view, that, as Mr. Bradley mentioned, the changing of the majority, whatever it was, to give my point of view. I was kind of excited because I haven't really been afforded that, and I was excited to find out it was a national network live with an anchor woman from New York, whatever it was. I was outside here and ready to talk and give my questions, and I wanted to share things that, when all this started, for all y'all who were not here, when all this started, the first thing we kicked off was that we had experts who talked about they wanted to delete Veterans Day, delete the 4th of July, delete them, experts, as list of important holidays that our kids should study. When all this started, they wanted to delete the Liberty Bell as a symbol of patriotism. And I wanted to share that, my conservative point of view. And on the holidays that impact our culture, they wanted to delete Christmas and Rosh Hashanah, a Christian and a Jewish holiday. Like those holidays that don't have an impact on our culture, our life. And I also complained, and I wanted to share also that part of when we got this started, we had in our American history, not for U.S. history here, but some sections they wanted to start for our youngest children, and started with American history. That was real important to learn first that you were a global citizen first, and then an American citizen. I was so happy that someone on TV was going to ask me to go share my point of view, but I was denied. I was denied that right. You see, a heckler came out. The moment it started, I remember seeing the photographer's face just like yours right there, and his face changed. I don't know what happened. I don't know if somebody had a gun or a knife, but a woman came behind me, and my earpiece was in my left ear, and she strategically came to my right ear and started screaming conservative slander, all those things. I don't know if she knew I was conservative, whatever, but she must have known. But screaming in my ear, anti-conservative stuff. And then started throwing a sign in my face on live national TV. I told the anchor woman, I said, man, I cannot even hear what you're saying. I couldn't respond to the question. And I kept telling the lady, ma'am, and she wouldn't let me even get 2 words. I said, ma'am, it was Fox News. I said, Fox News is pretty fair, ma'am. If you let me get a sentence in, they might let you talk too. But that never happened. That never happened. She kept screaming, and finally they had to just stop the live broadcast. I felt bad about it because I had my chance to finally at least give, I thought, and thank God I had my hands like this in front of me. My parents taught me to be calm. Because when people are yelling at you and throwing things in your face, your tendency to kind of block and protect yourself. But that didn't happen. And actually the photographer complimented me for at least holding myself together, how tough that was. Then I had a friend, Jonathan Saenz, many of you know here. He went to talk to the Mexican-American Legislative Caucus. What they said was an open process. Jonathan called to sign up, and he wasn't on there. He showed up to talk. He wasn't listed. He even at the end of the session at 4:30, they were going to end. He said, excuse me, I was supposed to talk. And the chairman said he couldn't talk. Jonathan Saenz is Hispanic.
Oh.
He's an attorney. He's been to every single meeting here and some of the subcommittee meetings here. He could share. But his only evil part was he was also conservative. And he was denied the right to talk, to share his point of view. So you got to understand, there's a little different kind of thing here, and I learned so much when I heard both points of view. I learned so much. Some of them are votes here that we change and go with what's going on. But to tell me because I'm conservative that I don't matter. But here's the most outrageous thing. The most outrageous thing has been the editorial boards of this state, and I have openly and publicly rebuked the boards in front of this body here, but our 25 million Texans don't know this, and I'll pick on one aspect. There's been many outright what I believe lies, but Jefferson was the biggest lie of all. They came out telling everyone that this board had voted to completely erase Thomas Jefferson from history. That's what they said. Erase Thomas Jefferson. You know, it was a lie that was told, a big lie, and a repeated lie over and over. And that lie went to all 5 major papers, Dallas, Houston, Fort Worth, San Antonio, and Austin. It was repeated, and suddenly it went to all the smaller networks, and then it went national. And we heard it on morning shows, night talk shows, comedy shows, that this board was so stupid that they actually deleted Thomas Jefferson completely. And I mention that because some of my colleagues mentioned Jefferson earlier, but that was a lie. You know, and the worst part about it, you know, Journalism 101, our own standards. If you're in middle school journalism, you check your source and your facts. Well, I verify. They never called Chairman Lowe. They never called the state board chairman. They didn't call the TEA. I called Chairman Lowe that first day, and then next morning they had a rebuttal that went statewide listing every place where Thomas Jefferson, where he's in the current books, he's in the new standards too. In fact, he's been increased because we have a Celebrate Freedom Week where every grade kids study the Declaration of Independence. And I joked about it, in case the editorial boards don't know, that declaration was written by a man called what? Thomas Jefferson. And every year our kids study the Declaration. Who wrote it? The authorship, why, the purpose, its impact on the Constitution, Bill of Rights, on women's suffrage, the abolition movement. Every year. And yet they would say this lie that we deleted Thomas Jefferson. Now, I'm just going to use that one example. There's lots of examples. I keep thinking about a guy named Goebbels. Goebbels was, I don't speak German, but he was had an interesting title. He's the minister of Nazi propaganda under Adolf Hitler. And the people argue, was it Goebbels or Hitler who said, hey, you know, tell a lie, but make sure it's a big lie. A big lie, like they deleted Thomas Jefferson. And Goebbels and Hitler said, keep repeating that lie until what happens? Until what happens? Until it becomes the truth. We had students out here from UT, a great campus, all these nice shirts someone got for them, and they had signs about, where's Jefferson? Bring back Jefferson. What happened to Jefferson? Who erased Jefferson? I had an interview this morning on the radio show. The same question was asked, that we had completely deleted Thomas Jefferson. It was a lie. A lie. And Ms. Lowe and the agency came back a rebuttal, went statewide. It wasn't published. No one cared. It was just a lie. I'm just so sad, but I'm really sad, not of this, but we have a process, and I've been there where you win and lose the boats and you go forward next time, and that's part of life. But I'm really concerned about not even y'all, the print media, but the editorial boards. That's the highest level of journalism. That's supposed to hold a higher standard. But to keep telling those kind of lies and hurting good people. And the reason you're here, Mr. Gusso mentioned you're here from across the nation because you heard we were so stupid that we completely deleted Thomas Jefferson everywhere. And that wasn't true. That was a lie. And a lie is probably too nice of a word. So I have my passion too. I have my hurt too, but I also believe that we want true and accurate American history. We have Medal of Honor recipients who have never been there, men and women of different ethnicity who have never been in the standards before. We talk about the war, the March of Bataan. We talk about in these standards here, some of the great battles of the Pacific, never there before. About our veterans. I'm voting for the document. And yes, I'm a conservative. And people can yell in my ear all they want or throw signs, but I still have that right. And if I don't have that right, please tell me, but I thought I did. I'm voting for the document. Thank you.